Welcome to the 2-minute game review. Eric Allen here inside the BetMGM studio, joined as always by Anthony Becht. Anthony, if I told you before this game the Jets would allow 302 yards, they would have 2 interceptions, 6 tackles for loss, and the Miami Dolphins would go 1 of 9 on third down, what would you have said?
I would have said that, that would have been probably a victory. The problem is a lot of that came later on in the game, in the second half. I think it comes down to moving the chains, Eric. You got to be able to convert on third down, third and short. Offensively, could never get off the ground. Whether it was some type of missed assignment, a dropped ball, pressure at Joe Flacco during this game. Again, the important downs when you have to make critical plays to get more plays and convert first downs were just not there. And we talk about starting fast every week, Eric, and that was just a big problem today for the Jets.
Anthony, how demoralizing is it for this team? They are the only winless team in the National Football League at 0-6. And this 24-0 loss to the Dolphins in South Florida was the first shutout by Miami in the series going back to 1982.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. It's really disappointing. I mean, from a locker room standpoint, I'm almost positive every single player is going to be down and upset and disappointed. I mean, nobody comes in thinking on the road you travel versus basically a rival within the division and expects to play away. I didn't say anything from a lack of effort. That wasn't the case. It was just a lack of converting and a lack of executing. And that's been the problem throughout the season. And unfortunately for the Jets, it reared its ugly face again today.
You just mentioned that it was a lack of execution. And Adam Gase said, hey, mentally we were okay. We were just getting beat physically. Is that worse?
Well, that's a part of it. I mean, let's give credit to the Dolphins. Their defensive line outplayed the offensive line of the Jets quite a bit in key situations. Those are the things where, you're talking about execution. It really comes down to being out-schemed as well. I mean, Dolphins came into this thing defensively. We talked about their defensive line being very active. We talked about the mixed downs and blitzes that they run, and they were flying to the ball today. And unfortunately, when you're trying to get some conversions and you got Dolphins players in your face as quarterback, or they're breaking through the gaps and seams in the run game, they themselves had 7 tackles for a loss. So, talking about sacks and also giving up, behind the line of scrimmage plays on the runs, those aren't going to help you. So, unfortunately, it was from start to finish. It was probably one of the performances the Jets want to forget as far as, trying to get their first victory. Wasn't happening today.
And lastly, really quickly, the Jets were 2 of 17 on third down. You mentioned the struggles of Joe Flacco. It's not just him, and we know that. If you had to point to one of the most significant issues on that offensive side of the ball, what would it be?
I think the offense lacks explosion on other downs outside of third. First and second down, you saw they tried to go deep a couple times for Perryman early in the game, in particular the first series of the game back-to-back, and they weren't able to execute and complete. Execute is not just blocking it up, it's connecting on the pass, it's getting yourself open on the pass. You try to get those explosive plays over 20 yards in the passing game, 12 plus in the run game. None of that happened today. I mean, it just wasn't there for the Jets. And unfortunately, from start to finish, this was again, give credit to the Dolphins. They performed every quarter of this game, stopping the Jets at all angles.
Thanks, Anthony.